Hi, this is Lori from Morgan County Public Library, and it's beginners yoga. And the same thing I always usually say: wear comfortable clothes, have a place on the floor. If you could have a yoga mat, that would be great, because it's hard to. You can slide with some of these poses, and the yoga mat just makes it so much easier. And then again, the other thing is don't overdo it. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of overdoing it. So I have to kid on myself. Stop, 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 stop. Just do what you can. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the best. I don't have to be the best. I just do the best I can. So this is a process. It's not a competition. And everybody has a different body. I mean, some people are really flexible in their hips and other people are not. And some people are really flexible in their legs and other people are not. And so we do the poses the best we can. That's what we do. So let me get this there. Here I am on my yoga mat. And the first thing I want to do is to do easy pose or yeah. So you just put one foot up against you and then the next one like that. And if that is hard to do, you can use a bolster to help yourself, or just a pillow or blankets or whatever you need to use. Um, that's perfectly okay. So in this posture, we have our legs crossed, our back is straight, our head is centered between our collarbones, right? And our shoulders are down, and we can put our hands in this position at the heart center, or in our lap, or on our legs. It doesn't matter. It's your preference. And we're going to breathe. So we're going to take a long, slow inhale, and then wait a second or two before releasing it in a long, slow exhale. And wait a second or two before you start taking that next breath. So, and pay attention to your breath. And so let's do a little bit of a meditation. This week I want to be grateful for the nice weather and spring coming. I'm very over the winter. Yeah, winter, blah. It's time for spring. Yay! The robins are out, so I think it's springtime. So put your hands where you want and do your breathing. I'm going to breathe for 3 to 5 breaths. And I'm going to think about how grateful I am and about my body, how it's feeling. So begin breathing. Okay, so we're going to do some floor work before we do some standing poses, and then at the end we're going to do some relaxation. And so get on your mat if you have one, and you're going to be sitting in staff pose, which is your legs are straight out in front of you, your toes are facing up towards the ceiling, your back is straight and your shoulders are down, and your head is going that way. I'm doing it this way so that you can see what to do. So, and then from here, we're going to bend from the hips, and we're going to go down as far as we can go, which for me won't be very far, but that's okay. You want to keep your back straight, and that's where I have a problem. So yeah, keep your back straight, keep your head aligned with your spine, and breathe. Maybe after a while you can go down just a little bit lower. Maybe not. So I've said before, but I'll say it again. You want to feel your muscles being engaged or working, but you do not want them to be hurting. If they're hurting, you're doing too much. You need to back off. So, like, this used to be where I was at, and I'm not that much further. It's taken me a while. I'm really, really not that limber when it comes to this head to knee stuff. I just am not. So, but that's okay. You are not. It's not about achieving the perfect pose. It's about the journey on the way to that. So remember that, and give yourself grace for not being perfect. You don't have to be. You're perfect just as you are. You're perfectly imperfect, but that's fine. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is you're going to keep that foot out straight, but you're going to bring one in close to your body, your foot up against your inner thigh, and you're going to do this. And you should feel a stretch on your side. If that's too hard to do, you can do this. Some people can touch their toe with their hand. That's not me. It's okay. So this is a side stretch. Make sure you're breathing. And then the other thing is with keeping your sit bones or your butt on, try to keep it on the ground. It wants to lift up, but see if you can get down close to your knee. You can If you can start out here, that's fine. You can start out even here. Just go at your own pace. Don't be impatient like me and hurt yourself. And then finally in the middle. And you can do this. You can do this, right? Keep your back straight though. If this is too much, go back. You don't want it to hurt. And then as your muscles get relaxed, maybe you can go just a little bit deeper. All right. And now we're going to go on the other side. So you always do both sides. Now this leg is straight out, and this foot is over here by close to my body. And I'm going to do this. Do the stretch, side stretch. And breathe. You should feel a pull right here. One more time. Okay. And now we're going to try to go down to our knee. Keep your butt on the ground. You can be like this, okay? You can be like this, that's fine. If you can go lower, great. If you can lay your head on the floor, then what are you doing in this class? You need to go somewhere else. And down in the middle. If you ever notice your both sides of your body are not the same. One side, if you're right-handed, maybe your right side is better at doing the poses than your left. Or if you're left-handed, it would be your left side that does the poses better than your right. I'm right-handed, so it seems like um, on one side I can do it very well, on the other side I'm not so good, but or at least not as good as. And the goal there is to try to get your side that isn't as strong as the side that is, to get yourself, your body in balance. All right. So that's a lot of stretching for the legs. Ooh, you might want to get your legs in front of you and kind of shake them out. All right. And just rest for a second and take a deep breath. You've done a lot of hard work. Now this next pose is boat. So here's a modification you can do. If you can't keep your feet up in the air, you can put your hands behind you, sort of help your balance. And then later on, you can bring your arms out. Ooh, correct. And now we're going to go and do it on the other side. So you can just put your arms behind you and hold yourself up if that's what you need to do. You want to make sure your back is straight. And then when you can, put your arms out. Make sure you're breathing. So that's for your tummy and your legs. And then from there, we want to do plank. So remember that you kind of want to have your hands be a little cupped. So you're not putting too much pressure on your wrists. And they should be directly under your shoulders. Right? And here's a variation. If plank is too hard, you can be on your knees. But eventually you will get on your toes and you will keep your body in a straight line. And then just breathe. Keep your head straight. I want to put my head down, but you should keep your head straight because it's an extension of your spine. Let's do that on the other side. So your hands underneath your shoulders. Again, if you need to, you can have your knees down. If it's hard to do a plank, this is one of the ways that you can begin to build up to it. And now you are going to be like a table. Your hands are still underneath your shoulders. Your knees are on the ground and there's a little bit of space between them. And we're going to do cat and cow. So cow, you're arching up. Your head is looking up. Your tailbone is up. There's a curve in your spine. You've arched. And then we're going to arch the other direction for cat. So you're trying to look like a Halloween cat with their back arched. And go back to cow. Now, don't know if we're going to have time to do bring a standing, but let's try. Let's try to at least do a couple before our time is up. And when I stand up, you can't see my head. That is a problem. I have to scoot this thing all the way back. And then maybe even the computer. Let's see how that works. Oh, I'm going to arch this. There. You can see my feet in, you can see my head. Great. That works. Okay, so we're going to do mountain. And mountain, you have your feet a little bit apart and you are grounded to the earth. You're grounded. And your legs are straight, but just a tiny bit soft. You don't want to have really straight, stiff leg. That's not good. So you want your knees to be a little bit soft. And then your back should be straight. Your shoulders down, and your arms to your side. Head between your collarbones. And now you're a mountain. See yourself as a mountain. You're standing firm and tall. You're immovable. Okay. So now I'm going to do warrior two. You're going to put your foot out with your toes facing out. And your back foot is going to be behind you and it's going to be facing this way because it's going to be what's holding you in place so you don't slide. You want to make sure your knee doesn't go over your toes. And then you want to balance between your hips between these 2 points. And then your arms go out. And then you look gently over your middle finger softly. And breathe. Make sure your back leg is not rigid. There's a little soft bend there at the knee. And now we're going to switch sides. Now this foot is going to be facing this way and that one will be facing that way. And you're going to bend your knee. Keep this leg straight but not rigid. And you don't want your knee to go over your toes. If you're doing that, you're not doing it right. And then you want to have your hips between these 2 points. Right? And then we're going to take our arm. And this time we're looking this way, over our fingers. Softly. Breathing. Now, warrior one, you take you're like this in warrior two. Warrior one, you're like this. Your body is facing the same way as your foot. And you bring your arms up. This is warrior one. Now let's do that on this side. So your foot is facing that. This one is your backstop, so it's like this. And you might want to make sure your knee is not over your toes. Your spine is straight. And in between these 2 points. And then instead of staying like this, you're going to turn your body, face the wall. Okay. And then finally, we're going to relax in child pose. So remember, you get down on your hands and knees and sink onto your feet. And then your body goes down. I can't see if you can see me or not, but your body goes down and you can either have your hands alongside you with palms up and your forehead on the mat. Or you can have your arms stretched overhead because that gives you a good shoulder stretch. And then you just relax. This is a restorative pose. So restore yourself. Then, of course, there is corpse pose where we lay flat on our back. If that bothers you, you can put your legs up against the wall, doing the same thing except for your legs are up against the wall. So you would be like this with your legs up against the wall. But here I'm doing corpse. So I'm laying flat on my back. My legs are flopped out where they want to go. My arms are at my sides. My palms are up. And I just close my eyes and breathe. Relax. Worked hard. Did a good job. You showed up for yourself, and that's great. Now you can stay in that pose as long as you need. But we're at the end of our time, so I want to thank you for coming, and I'll see you next week.